All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the lovely James Marsden, who's here to talk about his new show, Jury Duty, which is hilarious. We've seen it. We love it. We think it's so funny. And thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. And very nice words about all of that.
Yes.
Me, the show, all of it.
Yeah.
How often are you in New York?
I used to come quite a bit when I was doing 30 Rock. I would come in every month, but the last 3 or 4 years, I haven't been in a while. I'm very excited to be here. And for what people are telling me, the best week of the year. They're getting some nice
It's
weather.
going to be 80
nice
degrees every day.
Every day?
Which doesn't make any sense.
Well, you're welcome.
It's all
I
because
bring
of you.
with me the
warm-
weather.
Yes. So why, I know we're starting off pretty hot right off the bat here, but why did you start off with Jimmy and then change to James?
We were
questions.
doing some research, hard-hitting questions, and we were, you have been in so many great things, but we were going through it. It was like he was in this as Jimmy Marsden.
Yeah.
As
Right.
Jimmy Marsden.
Your first role, the nanny, Jimmy Marsden, stepped out on the scene.
Because that's what I was. I mean, I grew up as Jimmy Marsden. That was like my name growing up in
Jimmy!
as
He's a
kid.
fun guy.
Like, sounds like I grew up in Jersey, but I actually grew up in Oklahoma. That's what my family called me. My friends called me, and when I got into the business, I thought, I don't know, I didn't get clever about wanting to change my name for any reason. And I remember doing. I don't know, you guys probably won't even remember this, but those are like Tiger Beat, Teen Beat magazines.
Oh, of course.
And I started to take myself probably a little too seriously. I was like, I don't need to be in those magazines. I want to be taken serious as an actor. And at some point, I just switched it to James because I think maybe enough people said, James is such a nice name. Why don't you stick with that? And I thought, okay. And when I was younger, it sounded too much like my father. It sounded fatherly and old.
Yeah.
James is more official. Jimmy's like, oh, Jimmy's here.
Yeah, right. Jimmy's more fun. James is more cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Jimmy's down to party. James is business.
Right. That's kind of, I guess, I mean, I didn't really put that much thought into it, to be honest. But now when I hear someone say Jimmy, it's like I know. When I hear out of the corner of my head and I hear Jimmy, I'm like, that's somebody who's known me for a really long time. Yeah. And it actually feels nice. So I'm actually going to change it back.
Yeah. After this interview.
Yeah.
Thanks
No.
to us.
I'm going Jamie after this interview.
Ooh.
Just to
Marsden.
be with all the young kids.
Yeah,
change
exactly.
Maybe call you Jimmy?
You can call me Jimmy, yes. I
on
really
that
am
level
indifferent. Yes, but I'm indifferent to either one. I love them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love Jury Duty. It is, for those who don't know, because it's kind of like it popped up really fast.
Right.
And now everyone's talking about it. And I've seen it all over social media, but it's basically a mockumentary, I would say, of like of going to jury duty. There is one man who thinks he is really at jury duty and everyone else are actors.
Yes.
And you play yourself. James
I play an
Marsden.
exaggerated version of myself. I play Jimmy, not James. Yeah, that's a pretty good, accurate description. I mean, it's a hard show to talk about, or at least describe, because I can't think of many comps. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
So I was approached by the creators of The Office, who I'm a huge fan of that show, and my friend David Bernard, who produces White Lotus, and we've done a couple of things before. I said, we have this interesting concept for a show, which is 8 episodes of a cast of characters going to jury duty. But it's all fake. Like, it's a real courthouse, but it was abandoned. We took it over. It will be one celebrity and a bunch of young improv actors who are relatively unrecognizable or not, on purpose by design, right?
There was one that I recognized, and I was like, but there's no way this guy knows who he is.
Right. It was a gamble, and then one guy who does not know the whole thing is fake. So the whole thing is scripted. The dialogue isn't scripted, but the circumstances are scripted.
Yeah.
Like there's story arcs for each character. But there's a wild card, and this guy who comes in and thinks that there are cameras following him around for some of it, but there are also hidden cameras through a lot of it. So he thinks it's a documentary, like a boring documentary on jury duty that's going to end up on public broadcast or something. So I said, well, I don't want to do a prank show because I don't want to, I don't want to make fun of this guy who's in the dark or put the screws to him or make him embarrassed or humiliated. But I get to play this sort of really heightened version of myself, which is the entitled Hollywood, jackass who's like, not interested in any conversation that doesn't involve him or his work. So it was a way for me to kind of send up the Hollywood celebrity thing.
Yeah.
But also play with all these really gifted improv artists. I just love that style of comedy. Christopher Guest has always been a hero of mine. So I jumped at the chance, but that I was not ready for the component of this guy who you just don't know what he's going to say. You don't know what he's going to react to. You don't know what's going to embarrass him or make him laugh.
Yeah.
So you have to be nimble and be able to sort of pivot. And you get one take, right? So every day is another day of jury duty. And if anytime you get suspicious, we would have to back off, and you'd hear from the director in the control room, okay, like time for 6 hours of boring droning on in court.
Yeah.
So that he would go, oh, well, this can't be a show because that was so
That was
boring.
6 hours.
Right, 6 hours of boring.
Yeah.
And poor James Marsden's over there taking a nap. And I really was taking a nap. So it was a bizarre experience, but really, no one knew if it was going to work or not. And then like sort of ethically, I was like, boy, you're messing with somebody's... I mean, look, at the end, this is how they proposed it to me. We're creating a hero's journey for this guy. He doesn't know it, but we're surrounding him by this group of sort of wonderful weirdos. And by the end of it, hopefully, if we create this path for him, he becomes the sort of the leader of the group and unites all of us at the end. And he did. And it was like, but like if he wanted to turn left when we wanted him to turn right, we'd have to turn left and sort of adjust along the way. Yeah. So that was exciting. It was this high wire act feeling of live theater, sort of. Yeah.
It was really cool. Such a good idea. It was hilarious. And I think while watching it, people probably had the same thought where you're like, this guy is not an actor, but he's so good. Like, you were like, is he? He's not in on it, but is he? Because he was just throwing out lines that just added such great material for you guys to play around
Absolutely.
with.
In fact, one of them on the very first day, it's scripted. Here's what a script would look like. James sits down next to our hero. We map it all out with rehearsal of like how we get that open seat, right? So make sure that I sit next to him. We plant a woman to come up and take a photo of me or ask for a photo. Yeah. James takes the camera and asks our hero, hey, would you mind taking this selfie of us? Sure. And then it opens up the door of conversation. And he's like, I knew I recognized you. I didn't know from what. And I was like, yeah, I've been in a lot of stuff. And I started talking up the thing.
The socks.
And then I saw someone who was actually wearing socks that looked like it said Sonic on it. I thought, again, this is all just on the fly.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a way in to talk about, my stuff. And I'm like, oh, I thought his socks said Sonic. He goes, wait, Sonic? I'm like, yeah, I'm in that movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, wait, you're in that movie? He goes, I didn't see it. I heard it was terrible.
So it's so
like,
good. You're like
comedy gold. Like, and then I get to go, I mean, a lot of people saw it. You should check it out. Yeah. And then he came in the next day.
Made a lot of money.
Yeah, made a lot of money. And he came in the next day. He's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I saw the movie last night. It was so great. You didn't tell me Ben Schwartz was in it. I'm like, what about me, bro? So it was great. He was actually hitting moments that were scripted before we even got him there.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Like he proposed to one of our other actors. One of our other actors was supposed to bring up, I'm going to say that I'm racist to get out of jury duty. And then Ronald, before he even got there, he goes, I just watched this Family Guy episode where he's just, I'm like, oh my God. It's like he read the script.
Yeah. That's why it was so hard to believe that he's not an actor, because you're like, he's comedy gold. He knows what he's doing. And also the other actors as well, because like you said, it's one shot. You have to be really sharp and great with improv.
Right.
Because you don't really get another chance to be like, wait a second, didn't like how I said that one. Let's redo this.
Yeah, and sometimes if it's not right or the moment didn't work or you weren't able to get close to him, they'll be like, okay, put a pin in that and like we'll come back to it later and see if you can introduce that bit later. So they had little safety nets along the way.
So you have somebody in your ear?
No. So some people do. Like the judge, I think the judge, who's awesome, by the way. He anchors the whole thing in reality. It's Ike Barinholtz, the actor. It's his father.
Oh.
Who was a prosecutor his whole career and then just got into acting late in his life.
That's amazing.
And so he's genius. And the two attorneys are practicing attorneys who also like love to act and took improv classes or whatever. So I think he had one just to sort of like
I feel like you could definitely find a lot of people in LA that have normal jobs now, but are like, I did have a dream of acting one time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I actually there's a funny story. I don't want to get off the topic, but there was a stand-in on a job I did once. And this guy I was like, have you always done this? He was like, no. What was your job before this? He goes, I worked for the CIA. You fucking kidding me? Really? He was like, yeah, I was a CIA agent for a long time. And I was just like not in love with it anymore. I'm gonna go be an actor.
Thought I'd try acting.
Have a little passion.
And not even
for the
acting, like he's a
stage.
stand-in on a show.
Right,
It's like,
right.
I love this. Just like love being on set and it's like,
Just
wow.
It's probably calming for him.
Yeah, exactly.
A nice change of pace.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so I don't know. So for me, it was like, this guy Ronald is not only comic gold because we're not making fun of him, but he was open to, there were guys in the cast who were supposed to weird him out, like by design. It was supposed to like freak him out, like Todd, the guy with the chair pants, and he just put his arm around them. Like we didn't know how he was going to react if he was, get away from me, you weirdo. But he like bolstered his confidence, and
he did kind of turn it into making you all like one big like very weird family almost, which is why it worked. Like, and it's funny. So I didn't know this, but was the creators of The Office, did they made the show or they're
showrunners of the show.
Okay.
They co-wrote the whole thing.
Which
it was
is
their concept. Yeah.
Totally, because I literally just said I said to our producer, I was like, when they go to Margaritaville, I'm like, that is a scene from The Office. Like that,
Sure.
It felt so similar,
right.
but it works so well.
Yeah, and to credit, it was those guys. It was Dave Burnett. It was Todd Schulman, who worked with Sasha on all his stuff, and this another producer, Nick Hatton, who knows this world, right?
Yeah.
How to kind of fool somebody, I guess. But the tone was always The Office, right? It was always, but without scripted dialogue.
Yeah.
To the writer's credit, there was like, in the scripts, it was like, this is the moment where Marsden brings up that he wants to go into character for this role that he's auditioning for. He talks about he usually doesn't have to audition, but for this auteur director, he's got to, So kind of the lines are somewhat there, and I just get to sort of mold them into what I want to say. And it's great because you're just in this cage, not a cage, but like you're there on set of doing whatever you're doing. And every morning I was like, okay, what are the beats we're hitting today? What's the sort of story points we're hitting? And what's some fun stuff that I can do? Because once you're in there, the director can't come in and go, cut, do that again. I'm free creatively. I can do whatever the hell I want.
So fun.
And stay in that character. I don't know. It was so much fun, but it was tenuous at times because it was like he's catching on.
Yeah.
He's really switched on, this guy. He's very smart. And there were times where it was like, oh, is he gonna? In fact, at Margaritaville, when we did the arm wrestling thing, the day before we shot that, it was supposed to be something else, and we did not think he was gonna buy it. It was supposed to be like a hot wings eating contest or something and everyone was like, I can't do it. The lady was supposed to come in and say, all right, well, this bill's $1,500, but if someone eats this entire plate of crazy hot wings,
happen,
and so we planted a couple of super, super hot ones for the other cast, and then we would give Ronald like the mild ones, and he'd eat them and be like, these aren't hot at all, and he'd eat the whole thing like, you're a hero. But we were like, he's not gonna buy that.
Yeah.
So we were like, what do we do? I was like, what if we do some sort of competition where it can be fixed? Like, if it's me, I can lose on purpose. The guy beat me legit anyway. But anyway, so you're just constantly pivoting along the way, and that's the excitement of it.
Such a good idea. So well made all around.
Do you know how you guys found, like how they found this guy?
I wasn't in on that process, but I had a lot of questions about it. Like what, I think they interviewed a lot of people under the guise of, hey, would you,
participate in a documentary of
I participated in a documentary about jury duty. You'd be actually get your jury duty out of the way, which this poor guy, he finishes this show and he's like, I still haven't actually done jury duty.
That's so funny. Like as an incentive, like, oh, it'll cross that box.
Cross that box,
you're good for jury
done.
duty for years.
But I think they did sort of I guess they interviewed him, or I don't know what the process was of how they found him. But I remember him saying something about, in one of his early interviews, that he was at a stage of his life where he was open to adventure. I was like, I'm kind of keeping my eyes open with curiosity about like what's next in my life
Yeah.
and like look at it with. And he was so pure-hearted and sweet, and kind of the moral compass of the whole thing, right? Like again, we're all doing these crazy shit. And he's just like, this is so weird, man. But he was a gem. I mean, he really is. And to me, what was important was when you're messing with somebody for their human experience for 3 weeks of their life, that's a lot of, that's keeping somebody in the dark for a really long time. You better make sure that by the end of it, because it's so subjective, like what he's going to be embarrassed about or what's going to upset him or...
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even like a surprise birthday party, let alone 3 weeks of like, hey, this was all
And
fake.
it has to end enough where he like isn't gonna freak out that the show's gonna come out, right?
Right,
Like,
right. And the whole idea is at the end, we're like hoisting him on our shoulders and celebrating his character. But like, it's a pretty unorthodox way to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was important to me, and I stressed this every day with the producers. I was like, listen, we can't finish this and then go, hey, nice to meet you, see ya. Because he's talked to he's forged a lot of friendships.
He thinks you guys are pals now.
And we are. And so we were like,
he's
need to
besties
make
with James
sure.
Marsden.
Yeah.
He's,
Right. that is real.
Yeah.
That's not going away. And we still keep in touch. We went for a beer last week. Like he hangs out with the rest of the cast still. It's like, yes, this was all fake, but our friendships and our times that we had together was all very much us.
Right.
Yeah.
That
And
makes
we
a
were
lot of
having a good
sense
time.
because
That's
it's almost
Right,
like...
because otherwise it's pretty cruel.
Right, because you think of it like when you're a kid in school and people are playing a joke on, the kid that's not friends with everybody else. And then at the end of the day, they go home and they cry about it. And they're like, what's real, what's fake? So it's a nice way to treat him after that. And now he could probably become an actor.
Oh, I'm seeing people sending me stuff. By the way, like over the weekend, I had no idea if anyone was going to even know about the show. Or
It's all over TikTok.
And I've gotten
It's
every
all over.
TikTok thing. I'm not on TikTok, but I was like, how do you view all of this on TikTok and comments or whatever? And everyone's saying 60 million views or something like I don't know how that happened. But I see a lot of the comments saying like, Ronald is the next Bachelor. Ronald is like, he's my perfect man. He's such a sweetheart. And I hope he sees all of that because again, we're celebrating him at the end, and we want him to know that this was, maybe that adventure that he maybe not fully asked for, but was open to.
And he does
open to
seem
adventure.
he does seem very caring. Like there are moments where it feels very genuine in the way he reacts to all of you guys that it's very sweet. Like even with the older woman when she's constantly falling asleep.
Yeah, he's taking care of her.
And he's like, like he's like so
being gentle with
like
her, right.
Says something like, don't do that.
Yeah, or like
great guy.
like this person started clapping and he was like, don't.
But also too, I don't want to spoil something because it's an episode this weekend.
Oh yeah,
but
don't spoil
I do
it yet.
something really, really unsavory, and I kind of lose my cool in a very egocentric way.
Okay.
And his reaction was like, I've enjoyed that guy. I like his work or whatever, but like, no. And I was like,
He was done with
Yeah.
you.
good,
Yeah.
like,
good for you, because he was like,
No more
he's so
James
cool. I'm
Marsden.
friends with James Marsden. He's a celebrity, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I do something really dickish.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
He's got
No,
good. He's
my-
got good
for-
morals.
yes.
Yeah.
Good. This
That's
is
great to
great.
see.
Perfect guy for this.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that you were friendly with somebody who works on The White Lotus.
Yes, David Bernard. He's the producer of the show.
Now, do you have any wishes and desires to be a part of that show? Because I could see you.
I mean, who doesn't now,
I
right?
could see you on the
I
White
could
Lotus.
see you fitting into The White Lotus.
Really?
Yeah.
Fitting into the White Lotus.
just like a
Squeezing through the front door.
Yeah.
That's it.
Making a little appearance.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment. I would.
Yes.
I would really enjoy that. Mike White, the creator, showrunner. So David Bernard and Mike White and I did a movie back in about 5-6 years ago called D Train with me and Jack Black, and it was one of the things when people say, "Hey, what movie that nobody really saw that you're super proud of that you'd want people to check out?" I'd say that.
Yeah.
Because it's Mike White and his super brilliant comedy, and it's a darker movie than you think it would be because it looks like it's just going to be a buddy comedy. So yes, I love Mike and I love David, and I've done a couple things with David over the years. So yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our
The
favorites.
show's going to get me on it, right?
Yeah, yes, definitely.
We're putting it out there in the universe.
We'll put this on TikTok.
Okay. Put it on TikTok.
And then all the people
Marsden
be like,
is
"Oh my
available to go to
God,
Thailand."
I love that guy from Jury Duty. Get him on the White
yeah.
Lotus.
Get him on the White
Just
Lotus.
Spirals from
And
there.
then it's going to look like I got the job because he's my friend, right?
I mean, but it really is. It does feel like Mike White. Mike White's phone's got to be blowing up of everyone just being like, "Hey, Mike,
sure.
long time no talk. That
Right.
show you got,
In fact,
it's pretty
didn't
good."
Jennifer Aniston
Yeah, I was
just
just
come
gonna
out
say
and
Jennifer
say,
Aniston would play Jennifer Coolidge's younger sister or
Yeah.
daughter or something like that.
yeah.
Exactly.
That could work. Yeah, it could
I mean,
work.
that award season, everyone was like Jamie Lee Curtis was like, "Haven't seen it, would love to be on it though." Like,
Right.
So
Yeah, I know.
it's got that reputation. But one of our favorites of your TV shows just ended was Dead to Me. We loved.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
And how was it to wrap up that show? Because unfortunately, it did feel like it could maybe continue, but it also, I don't know, it kind of also ended at a good time, maybe.
Yeah.
It was a tough one because
Yeah.
we had so much fun on that, and it was a family that, I was only supposed to be on the first season as that guy,
Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I called Liz, and I was like, I had so much fun
Yeah.
doing this show. It's like, is there any way I can come back for another season? Because I was actually purposely going, I'm only going to do this for one season.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, with Christina and Linda and everybody just had the
I
best
mean,
time. And the
incredible.
writing was so
Seem
great.
absolutely hilarious.
I was like, and she goes, twin? And I was like, nah, come on. And she was
Don't
like,
be crazy.
No, I think we could actually make it work. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit. Okay. But then
And
it
it did
worked.
work.
It totally worked.
And so then it was like, I think Liz always, I don't want to speak for her, but she did tell me, the impression I got was she wanted to end it in 3 years. And end it the way she really wanted to end it. But, with Christina and her diagnosis, that obviously came in and changed everything,
Yeah.
right? It was really difficult for her to get through the last season of all the shooting. But obviously we were there for her and she was there for us.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
so it was bittersweet the way it had to end that way. But I know it was by design that we ended it the way we did, like on this sort of cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, what's she getting ready to tell him?
I know. I did like the way, because it did feel like the way every season ended was always on a crazy cliffhanger. So it never felt like a show that was going to end wrapped in a bow. Like that just didn't match.
Right. And the
the
audience
show.
can decide what they think happened. What do you think happened?
I mean, I have this sort of romantic view of it, which is
Yeah.
she tells him, and that his love for her and their bond as a couple is so strong that, I mean, they've been through so much already without that bomb drop, which was the ultimate atom bomb
Yes.
drop, of course. But I think he feels probably guilty of, or would feel guilty of everything he was hiding as well. But I think that they would probably, that would be something that would even strengthen their bond somehow in some kind of perverse way.
Yeah, I could see that. That's kind of his personality, him being like, we'll work through this.
Right. And we'll go to therapy a few times a day for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd see that ending very positively.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we don't know.
Yeah. So now you're in New York, you're walking the streets of New York. People, I'm sure, stop you. Oh my God, you're the guy. What's like the number one thing people recognize you
There
from?
were a few people walking around the last couple of days that mentioned jury duty.
Yeah.
I think if it's younger people, they'll say like Sonic, right? Jim Carrey thing. I don't know what the Dead to Me is kind of, it's interesting. Nowadays, it's like,
It
whatever
is
you
funny
did
because I guess
last-
it really does also depend on like the person, because
Yeah.
I think for us a lot of people would be like 27 Dresses,
Hairspray.
like that world,
yeah.
but like my dad would be like Cyclops, like
Right,
like,
exactly.
So
yeah.
I feel like it definitely depends, but it's cool because you've really done, I feel like you've done every genre.
I feel like I have. I've been very lucky to be afforded the ability to jump around on all these different genres. And it wasn't by design from a young age. It was like, why'd you do this drama and then go do this comedy,
Right.
this and that? It was like, because they gave me the job.
Yeah.
Because I'm just, whatever work comes my way and they decide, oh, you're cast and you do it. And then you start to get a little more selective and you curate what you want to do. And I started realizing that maybe that plays to my strengths, like to be able to do something like where you're playing a superhero and then turning around and like getting to sing and Hairspray and
Right.
doing the Goofy Prince and Enchanted and
Yeah.
So I was always the guy. I hope this doesn't come off as arrogant and maybe more self-deprecating, that I didn't feel like I was great at one thing but just kind of good at a lot of things.
Right.
So I was the guy who got to do
You got to do it all.
Yeah, and 3 generations in.
Yeah, I mean, for
Or not generations, decades.
decades. Yeah.
Jesus.
You're not
Slow down, bro. You're getting old. You're racing to death. Okay? Hit the brakes.
Oh man, but yeah, I think like when you look back and it's like, yes, you see X-Men, you see those romance, you see comedy, you see animation. The superhero movies have got to be the most physically taxing.
You would think. But like my guy just does this. You would think.
Yeah.
And also the suit. I remember those suits that they had us in, especially in the first X-Men movie. It was all one piece and leather, thick leather. And the very first day of shooting, when we had to all be in our suits for the very first time, it was me, Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, and Famke Janssen having to not vault over a stone wall at the base of the Statue of Liberty, but it was like a little step, but it was higher than a regular step. It's like 2 feet, and none of us could get over the wall. We were supposed to like be action heroes, jump over everything, just like falling on our face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and I don't know. Nowadays, like so much of it is like CGI and everything.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been in enough harnesses to know flying through the air that like better keep your core in good shape to be doing the superhero stuff.
Now that now that whole world is open and everything, I'm a little bit of a superhero movie nerd. I love them all. Would you revisit if they wanted to like find some way to mold
of
Cyclops
course.
and back in your Cyclops?
Yeah, of course. I feel like there's a lot of people, the fans of the comic, that come up to me and say, "Hey, he never got his due. So he's like the leader of the X-Men," and that was always very nice to hear.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a movie and have it be under 2 hours and introduce all these characters, and then do a second film and introduce 5 more, and it's a tricky thing. But yeah, of course, I mean, I loved being a part of those X-Men movies, and you could make a spin-off about every one of those characters, because there's so much rich, detail going back to the early 60s in the comics that you could. And also, like, I feel very proud to have been, like, the X-Men movies kind of started it all.
Yeah.
I mean, there were comic book movies before that, but they were a little goofier.
Yeah.
Where they actually were wearing spandex.
Yeah.
And everyone on X-Men was like, let's ground this in this real reality of like have it be about tolerance and feeling different than someone. Anyway, but now, so I feel very proud of that. But also, I feel like we kind of missed. Oh, shit! I just keep wanting to hit this thing. Sorry.
Whoa. Just take it easy. Yeah.
Sorry, Lois. I don't know my own strength. There was a bullet coming through that I caught. You didn't see it.
He was like, "Oh, you want to bring it back? Right now."
But I sort of feel like we missed the whole like. I don't know. It was like the MCU. Like it was something not in my lexicon. It was not anything
totally.
Until
but now
recently.
It's so wide open that
right. Well,
they got people popping into different movies. Saw what they did with Spider-Man.
Right. So
you never know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Now we have a little trivia game.
So, Cap, I just put my phone number on the show.
Yeah.
So Kevin Feige and everyone at Marvel
Put
is
it
like,
out
hey.
there. Yeah, I'm sure
We
you'll get
moonlight
no
as
strange calls.
agents.
Terrific.
Yes.
Can you daylight us too?
We are going to play a little James Marsden trivia really quick.
boy.
Should be easy.
We thought this would be kind of fun because you're James Marsden playing cocky James Marsden in the show. So let's see how well James Marsden knows James Marsden.
Yeah. This is questions for
Do
you.
I do it
not
as
for
me
us.
or as the jackass James Marsden on jury
I
duty?
want
Your
you to do
choice.
it as jackass James Marsden.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just way more fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to be earnest.
So how often does the paparazzi really follow you?
Open the door. They're right outside.
All right, first question. What order did these 3 movies come out? 27 Dresses, Hairspray, and Enchanted.
Oh, that's tough because they're very close. When did they come out?
In what order?
From
In what order?
oldest to newest.
I know the order in which I shot them, which was the summer of 2006. I was doing Enchanted and then immediately went to Toronto for Hairspray. And then 27 dresses
you
was
just
the
looked
third.
at my notebook.
No,
I saw
no.
You glanced down.
I'm like, sorry, Lois. I'm like, the supervision. I can't read that. It was, I would say, Enchanted, Hairspray, 27 dresses.
Close. Hairspray, Enchanted, then 27
Okay, this
dresses.
is where I get confused because I shot Enchanted first.
yeah.
They had.
You never know
They
which
had
way they're
more.
gonna come out.
I don't
They had
know.
more to do in post, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
For Enchanted.
I guess so. Yeah.
Than Hairspray.
Now, this is very official and high praise. You brought home a Blockbuster Entertainment Award in 2001. What role was that for? What movie?
Blockbuster. I don't even remember this award. Probably the only award I've ever won, and I don't remember it. Blockbuster Award in 2001.
Yes,
Probably be X-Men.
that is correct.
Good deductive reasoning
Yes.
there.
It wasn't for disturbing behavior. I'll guarantee you that.
This one is match the song to the movie. So I'm going to give you 3 songs
Make it hard.
and 3 movies.
I'm good at this.
Okay.
Oh shit.
We'll do Without Love, True Love's Kiss, and Love Power. It's Hairspray, Disenchanted, and Enchanted.
Okay, give me the song names again. Hairspray, Disenchanted, and Enchanted.
And it's Love Power, True Love's Kiss, and Without Love.
Okay, Love Power is Disenchanted. True Love's Kiss is Enchanted. And what was the last song? By process of elimination.
Without
Hairspray.
Love.
Without Love.
Without Love. Yeah.
Yes.
Nailed it. You're pretty good at this.
Pretty good at James Marsden trivia.
Thanks. I'd rather have a perfect score, but I screwed up the first one.
What actress played Rogue in X-Men?
Anna Paquin.
God, that would be rude.
I mean, right. Come on, let's up this.
It's just like,
There's
we're
only
really
one
gonna
more
trick
left.
you.
Let's make it advanced.
What was Lon Hammond's job in The Notebook?
Being a simp.
Great answer.
Simpin'. What was his job? Like his actual vocation?
Yes.
Boy, that's a good question. That is advanced.
Yeah.
He
Glad
was
we stepped up.
he was
Yeah,
like
I got that one.
wasn't he like an oil tycoon guy or something? Was he?
He had a job.
Yeah, I know, of course.
did.
He made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And she still dropped him like a bad habit. He was he? I want to say something in agriculture. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm guessing not like an oil guy because you would have said yes. Was he like a stockbroker or something?
He was a lawyer.
Was he?
Yeah.
Jesus, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Notebook fans.
A rich lawyer.
Well, we looked this up and we were not. It was very clear. I think very clear that he's a lawyer
In the book.
In the book, I'm not sure how clear they make it in the movie.
Oh well,
Yes.
sorry.
But I'm also not
Under
sure.
protest.
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah.
They I can't remember how clear they make that.
Hey, but if you
obviously.
studied your character thoroughly, you would know he was a lawyer.
Well, no, I would know that he's whatever I want him to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was an oil tycoon.
We are changing the script. All right, that wraps up James Marsden trivia.
Okay.
You know,
You did
pretty
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty
Still
good.
got the old memory to some degree.
Thank God.
After 3 generations.
Yeah.
After three generations. We loved you in Casablanca.
Oh, James, thank you so much.
Yeah,
This
thanks
was
for having us.
amazing.
Yes, thank you so
Everyone
much.
can watch Jury Duty, Amazon, which is super easy.
Freevee.
Yeah,
Freevee.
Amazon Freevee.
Prime.
Amazon Freevee, which is super easy. You can search it, stream it. It's really
So easy. They're
very
so
funny.
easy to watch too. It's
Yeah.
like 25
Yeah.
minutes.
And I'm
each
sure you'll
episode.
see the clips on TikTok as
Yeah,
well, because
you can
that's
binge
where I
it all
saw it
Which is the
first.
weirdest thing because it's like the producers are like, here it is all over TikTok, but it's actually the platform that it's on is Amazon Freevee. They
Yeah.
feel like people are just watching it on TikTok.
But I
It's
did
nuts.
see a bunch of people be like, where can I watch this? Where can I watch
Yeah.
this? And they're
Yeah.
sending them to the right place.
It's
Okay, great.
It's a good way to do it because the TikToks are so short and you see the clip and you're like, what is
Yeah.
that from? Our producer watches a ton of movies because he just sees like a 30-second clip on TikTok
Right.
and is like, now I got to watch that whole movie.
That's
So
kind of like it's replacing the trailer, isn't
Exactly.
it?
Yeah.
The TV and movie
Exactly.
trailer.
That
Just
is
like
true.
get a
Exactly.
clip on TikTok and
Yep.
get some traction.
Yep.
All
That's
right.
all you got to do.
You got a whole swarm of new fans
Guess I'm gonna
coming
put
your
together
way.
a little audition video for the MCU and put that on
Yep.
TikTok.
White Lotus. Put 'em
Slap
all
it on
in.
there.
If you
White
made-
Lotus.
I know you're probably not going to, but if you made a TikTok right now, it would explode because I'm telling you,
Yeah.
people are loving you on TikTok right now.
I saw you
I just don't know what to
mention
put
it.
on there.
I saw you just
You use
mention
it on, you're like,
27
hey.
Dresses sequel. Also, you were talking to E! News and you said you would do a 27 Dresses sequel. So put that on
Right.
TikTok too.
There we go. Okay, anything I want right now.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
go
Put
on
it
there
on
and say,
TikTok.
"Hey guys, it's James Marsden." And
See,
they're
I'm
gonna
so
follow.
old. It's like I don't even know how to
That's
go
like
on
the
there.
yeah. That's like you
Where
go
is
ask the
it?
genie.
I'm like swiping through, like licking my finger like it's a book.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
That was
you so
fun.
much.
Thank you.